the time has finally come to finish the Powerless series. I have Fearless. This book is so thick. I think this is the biggest one in the series, and it's a little bit intimidating to look at, but I really want to finish this by next week, so I thought we'll round out our Powerless vlogs and vlog this last one. Wish me luck. I will see you at some point. I'm getting ready to go to work, but I'm not even 150 pages into this book yet because of work and school and other commitments, which is terrible. I'm really hoping to bust out a ton of this book this weekend. So far, all I can say is what the heck. So far, I'm not pleased with where this book is going. But no, there is no but. I'm just not happy. I don't know what else to say. Like, why are we getting that person's point of view, first of all? I don't care about him. Why is any of this even happening? I don't know. I'm just a little bit puzzled. So I'm going to hopefully read much more of this and then talk to you again soon. I have made it just a little bit more than halfway through Fearless. So far, it's a roller coaster. I don't know how I feel about certain things. Nobody is who I originally thought they were. I'm a little annoyed, but I don't know. Hopefully we start going in a better direction here. I'm gonna keep on trekking through and try to finish this so that I can move on and process. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I really, really don't like Kit anymore. I kind of wasn't really liking him very much in the end of the last book. I really hate him now. And there's still this much left. So, I don't know what other hurt can come of this. But I'm gonna keep trekking. We're gonna keep going. I probably won't see you again until I finish this, so see you then. I've finally done it. I finished Fearless. For a little while, I thought that this was actually going to be a 5-star book. The rest of the books in the series, I think I gave like a 3 or 4 stars. I was really, really hopeful partway through this book. And then I got to the end. And I really did not like the ending. I don't know if it was just like the timing of it or There were a lot of things about it that I didn't really like. I think this one is going to be a 4. This one will be a 4-star. I wish I really loved the ending, but I just don't. And I did kind of like the epilogue. I won't lie. I did kind of like the epilogue. And the very last chapter, like actual chapter, was cute. But like, I guess it's not the ending that I didn't like. It was like the right before the ending. Like the transition into the ending. That is what I didn't like. And it just kind of didn't sit right with me while I was reading the ending. I think that's what kind of ruined it. And I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the ending either. So I guess I'm not alone in that. But I have finally finished this trilogy. This specific book is a 4-star. If you have read this book, please let me know how you felt about it. And do not let my unease of the ending prevent you from reading this series, this book, whatever it is. That's not what I want. I just personally, the ending wasn't for me. But overall, it is a pretty decent fantasy series. There's no adult content in it. There is, violence, gore, but there is no other adult content in it, which I kind of like. I feel like adult content and like spice is so shoved into especially fantasy books lately. And it's really refreshing to read things that don't have that sometimes. And I think this was a really refreshing break from fantasy that has all that stuff. So we're putting this down. We're gonna keep going, pick up a new book. I will probably record a review of the series at some point. So watch for that. I'll talk about the series as a whole a little bit more then. But that was me reading Fearless. I also have vlogs of me reading the other books. If you want to go back to that, maybe I'll make a playlist of it. Until next time, happy reading. See ya.